One of the greatest issues faced not only by university students, but also by many people throughout the country is food insecurity.
The rising cost of food is top of mind for many Canadians and for food banks, which say they've reached their breaking point.
Programs across the country.
According to the British Columbia Centre for Disease Control, food insecurity is defined as when an individual doesn't have easy access to healthy, safe, and personally acceptable foods due to factors that are outside of their control. They also found that around 11% of the households in BC suffer from food insecurity. Within UBC, the statistics aren't much better. The 2019 Undergraduate Experience Survey showing that around 37% of domestic students and 45% of international students in the Vancouver campus deal with food insecurity. These statistics disproportionately affect minorities and people with disabilities. UBC students have been trying to fight food insecurities within their communities since 1997, when 10 students came together to start the UBC Natural Food Co-op. Since then, many other initiatives have started with similar intentions, and more recently in 2021 the UBC Food Hub opened, and that is where our story begins. The Food Hub can be found on the main floor of the CIRS building, and it's a student-led non-profit organization that has the intention of selling food at cost. They host events and activities such as grocery games, resource fairs, and many others to bring attention to both their presence within UBC and their message regarding food insecurity. We wanted to figure out just how viable it is as a grocery store to students living on campus. And how did you find out about the Food Hub?
Well, I have a class in the same building, so one day it was just kind of open there last semester, so I took a look, and then I've been going in there ever since.
This is Haley, a first-year student living at UBC. Her nearby residence has a kitchen, so she's a frequent customer to the UBC Food Hub.
I go to the Food Hub about 1 to 2 times a week. It's pretty good. It changes from time to time, and things can be out of stock sometimes. But they have a pretty good selection of like fruits and vegetables. They almost always have like staple canned items. I think it's really great, especially for students that maybe struggle to find like affordable groceries. Like it makes me feel better about shopping, I guess, because there's never like a really like large bill at the end of it.
And on the other side of campus, we have Liz, another first-year student living in residence who avoids shopping on campus altogether.
I kind of thought that everything on campus was more expensive, so I usually buy everything off campus. I usually shop at Shoppers Drug Mart if I need something very quickly, but otherwise I go to No Frills on 4th and Alma. I go once a week, sometimes twice. I always get sourdough and cheese, ice water, vegetables, frozen vegetables, pasta and sauce. Those are pretty much my basics. I'm vegetarian, so I feel like there's not many vegetarian options, but there's a huge produce selection, a lot of canned foods. I think the options are more affordable than other supermarkets in Vancouver, but it still gets expensive at random times.
After having an idea of what a typical student's grocery list looks like, we started to adventure through different supermarkets to check out the availability and prices of those items. We went to Save On Foods, No Frills, Safeway, and the focus of our project, the Food Hub. It is important to know the difference in size of the locations we went to in comparison to the Food Hub, and that the Food Hub is the only non-profit organization out of the 4. Here are some examples of our findings. A can of pasta sauce costed from $3.50 to $10.50 at a regular grocery store, while only costing $2 at the Food Hub. A carton of oat milk ranged from $5.50 to $6.50 at regular grocery stores, and at the Food Hub, only $3. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. While the other supermarkets might have higher prices, they have a much larger variety in the foods they offer. In all 3 supermarkets we attended, we were always able to find all the items that were part of the list. Beyond not having all the ingredients, the Food Hub also doesn't provide many substitutes for the missing products. They do somewhat address this issue by having within their space recipes that only require the items they have available. While they are able to conform to some dietary restrictions, providing items such as lactose-free milk and kosher salt, their limited sections can be hard to deal with for those who have more limitations in their diet. However, they're still able to provide a great selection, even including products from different ethnicities. Besides that, they also include the basic necessities such as rice, pasta, vegetables, fruits, sauces, etc. Right now, the Food Hub doesn't serve as a one-stop shop, but more as a place to save on those basic necessities as well as some fresh produce. And while it doesn't single-handedly solve the problem of food insecurity at UBC, it is certainly a step in the right direction.